Good evening, guys. It's Tara and Sean, and today we wanted to talk to you guys about your tax return. I haven't gotten one in a very long time, but I know this time of year is very important for people, and we want to give you some tips on how to use your money responsibly, right, babe?
Yeah.
One of the questions that I asked Sean the other day, I said, if you could pick one car and it had to last you a lifetime, what car would it be? Mine, of course, was the Subaru, which most people, is not that stylish. Most people don't like it, but Subarus last a long
Your
time.
cars last forever.
Yes, when I was in, I think it was Italy, like everybody drove like a Subaru station wagon.
Well, let's see, what's my choice car?
What's yours?
I'll still drive my Hummer.
Your Hummer gonna last you a whole lifetime.
Hey, it's been last a long time now.
Mm.
But some things we'll talk about. As Tara said, taxes are coming out. A lot of people are getting tax returns, and most people rush off and get the taxes. What's the biggest meme we always see when it comes to
the
taxes?
one where people always get their new cars? They put a big down payment, and by the time April or June comes, then they don't have the car anymore. It's either being repoed or it's broken and they can't afford to get it fixed.
Yeah. So Tara and I, we've had some of our clients ask us, well, how do you guys maneuver when it comes to making car purchases? Or what are some things you look for, some of the things you avoid, and so forth? And, we were just talking today, and I just thought about it. I have not had a brand new car note in 20 years. The last brand new car note I had was for a 2001 Ford Expedition. And I love that truck. It was like loaded, wood grain everywhere, and leathered out.
Still talk about it all the time.
But that's the last brand new car note that I had. And, the way I purchase cars now is quite differently because, a lot of times when we drive the car, as soon as we drive the lot, you've all heard everyone say that it depreciates immediately and you lose the value. So you can technically go buy a Bentley for $250,000, $300,000 and literally drive it off lot and come back in 10 minutes. And it has diminished in value tremendously. So what we do, we're going to explain to you guys some of that. But what I want to talk to y'all about too is we're going to talk about the 5 most budget-friendly vehicles that you can purchase for under $5,000. Because, can you tell everybody how, we travel a bit, we do some cool things and everything, and that requires money.
It does, and it also calls for some strategic moves financially.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things, we don't have brand new cars. They look good, we get a car that still looks good. It's not like it's raggedy.
Mm-hmm.
My choice of vehicle was a Tahoe. That's what I wanted. It's 2008, and I bought it from an auction. I got a dealer cost for it, and I'm happy.
Well, let's back up then. Because I said we haven't bought a brand new car in 20 years, but we've always had a fleet of vehicles. Now, let's share with everyone what we were driving up until about, 6 or 7 months ago. So share with everyone what you drove for however long it's been.
Maybe 4 or 5 years. Lexus, what year? 93, 94.
It was an LS 400 1993 model. And I've had that car since 2003.
It's definitely a workhorse. It's had the same engine, same. We didn't do a lot of work to it, and it had almost 400,000 miles on it. Yeah. So when I decided that I wanted to get a SUV, then I gave it away.
So you drove a 93 Lexus, had almost 400,000 miles on it. We've only put one transmission in that car, and again, I've had it since 2003. I drove a 1997 Ford Expedition. That thing had nearly 400,000 miles on it, and also, and still currently drive an 03 Hummer, and I have right under 300,000 on that. Now, I bring this up to you guys to illustrate a point. We actually looked, the 93 Lexus, the 97 Expedition, and the 03 Hummer were all first-year models of those particular vehicles. Now, the Lexus, again, that's a glorified Toyota, basically, but it runs forever. We had minimal cost on it. I paid $2,000 for that car in 2003. So imagine having a car that has lasted so long. What is that? 17 years? 17 years without a car note. And very minimal maintenance and servicing to it. The Expedition, I bought that truck in 2008, I put a engine in it, and nothing was really wrong with the other one. It was leading to some problems. So for preventative measures, I went ahead and just dropped a new engine in it. It cost me like $1,200. But guess how much I paid for that expedition? Do you remember what I told you I paid?
$800.
$600. And I've had that thing since 2008. So that was a 12 years that I had the vehicle, even though it was an older vehicle. And then my Hummer, I've had the Hummer since 2012, somewhere around there. So I've had the Hummer for about 8 years, almost 8 years, and I paid $13,000 for that. Haven't had any problems until up until recently. As how do you guys remember? I told you I had to get a brand new engine and a brand new transmission all in the same week. So that cost me about $10,000. But again, I haven't had a car note in that thing ever. Just did a one payment plan. And that's one thing we want to talk to you guys about. You know, a lot of times people can say, you know, we hear it all the time. Well, Sean, I just love my certain car, my BMW, my Lexus, my Mercedes, what have you. And, you know, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I've had nice brand cars. I've had BMWs. I had Infinities. I had Lexus, had Mercedes. So I get it. I get it that we like our brands. When you're looking to achieve something, achieve a goal, it may be a good idea to just kind of listen to some things we have to say. If it's not for you, if this live is not going to be for you, hey, don't worry about it. Scratch it out. We'll have another great session on another topic later. But what's some of the things you want to share about when it comes to cars, or how we think about?
Well, I know one of the things you told me that you decided on the Hummer because it was no emission. A lot of people like getting cars because it has low emission or whatever, but you don't need an emission because
it's not a vehicle technically. It's considered farm equipment, so I don't have to get emissions for different kind of things for that. But the biggest reason why I got the Hummer was it was a tax deduction, because in fact it is considered farm equipment. I get an actual tax break being a business owner, and it being the weight that it weighs. I think it's like over 6,700 pounds or 7,600 pounds. One of them. It's a heavy truck. So I don't have to pay emissions for it, and I also get some amazing tax deductions for it. We also put our vehicles in company names also. That's a business strategy move that's very beneficial when it comes to taxes and other business aspects. And I think one of the biggest things why I bought the Hummer is it's a tank, literally. I've been hit 5 times in that truck. What was the most recent one? About a year and a half ago, I was head on. I had a head-on collision. And the other driver was at fault. He ran the red light, and he hit the front right corner of my vehicle. He literally knocked off about maybe 4 inches worth of paint off my front bumper, but it totaled out his entire car. So it's safe. It's for safety purposes. It's one of the biggest reasons why I bought that one. A lot of people ask us, why do we drive SUVs? I'm going to give you guys a list of 5 of the cars I was talking about. Reason why we drive SUVs is a lot of it is for our businesses. It requires vehicles a lot of time, SUVs, as far as whether it's storage or just the amount of stuff we're moving through our companies. So let's go over the top 5 cars. You want to tell them what number?
What's
number 5?
2005 Honda Civic. You can still get that for under $5,000 right now.
Yep. And one of the things with the Honda Civic, all Honda's always been good. Hondas, Toyotas, everything. But the Honda Civic, I've known people who've had Honda Civics from way, way back. As a matter of fact, my very first car that I bought through an auction was a Honda Civic. It was a 1983 or something like that. I bought, I think, for $60. I turned around and I flipped it within 24 hours for $120 and just kept going from there. The number 4 vehicle is a 2004 Toyota Corolla.
You remember during the recession, everybody wanted a Corolla. Like the Corolla was more expensive than SUVs at that time.
Yeah, so everybody's rushing those. What's number 3?
Number 3, the 2004 Honda Accord. We're going to take you a step up from the Honda Civic. Honda Accord. You can still get that for under $5,000. All these cars are under $5,000.
Now, pay attention to that one. Number 3 was a 2004 Honda Accord, where you went up in the style or the model of the car, but you went down in the year. Because number 5 was a 2005, which was a newer but a lower grade. And let's see, number 2 is a 2003 Toyota Camry. And again, that's an upgrade. It went down in year, but up in model from what number 4 was.
And number 1, I actually had this one. 2003 Toyota Avalon.
Yep, and you drove that thing to the brakes and
yes.
fell off. And got great mileage out of it. So those are 3 of the 2 cars. I want to also share something too. You know, when buying cars, I think it's important too to understand what your mission is. Is it for comfort? Is it for look? Or is it for safety? Whatever your particular reason is, you have to decide that. But I had a buddy of mine who wanted to get a Suburban. This was back around 2007, 2008. At that time, I told him, I said, dude, I can get you a Suburban for like $10,000, $11,000. He's like, no, I want to get this brand new one. So he insisted on going out paying $35,000 for a used Suburban. What I told him, I said, look, if you get this one for like $11,000, worst case scenario, let's say if it needed a brand new engine and a brand new $18,000 roughly. So that's still half of the cost of what he paid going to go get a car note. And you know, with the car note, he still could have 30 days after he bought the thing and the warranty expired, he still could have been in the same situation where he would have to put a transmission in or something like that. Let's talk about what the average car note is.
I wouldn't know.
The average car note for a new car is $530 on average. Then when we look at a used car, the average used car note is $381, and the average lease is $430
Have you ever leased a car?
I have.
Yeah,
I have. I leased one car. It has its pros and its cons. For when I did it, it wasn't beneficial because I wasn't a business owner back then. I did it when I was in the military. I didn't like it because you were capped and limited to how many miles you could drive, certain things you could do with and without the car and everything.
That's definitely not good being in the military because you know you always want to drive.
I always got to drive, yeah. So that definitely didn't work for me. I think it averaged like barely making 1,000 miles a month. So it's like 12,000 something miles a year that I could drive, and I can do that in a matter of a few months. So if you take an average new car note being $530 a month over a 60-month car note, which that's what most people are getting car notes. I remember when I was buying cars, man, you got a car for like 24 to 36 months. 48 was like on the long end, but they're doing car notes up to 5 years now. So 5 years paying $530 a month would be $31,800 over the 5-year period of time. See, that's discombobulating my mind even thinking about a car note. So $31,000, let's just round up and say $32,000, as opposed to just buying a $5,000 car. And a lot of times people say, well, Sean, I want a brand new car because I don't want to have to worry about this, I don't have to worry about that.
Maintenance.
But if you just put like $500 a year in maintenance costs, upwards to $1,000, just depending on what type of servicing you're doing. But on average, anywhere between $500 to $1,000, you're still looking at $5,000. So that puts us in an all-in cost of $10,000, which still beats the $31,800. So that's some different things. But can you share with everyone why it's important? Like we use money that we don't have to use on a car note to buy assets or asset-producing income sources that generates us money and be able to do stuff. Can you just kind of share some of the stuff we're able to do because we don't, elect to have a car note?
We can travel, and when I say travel, I mean like outside the United
Real
States.
Travel.
Not say I love places in the United States. I love Cali. I love all of that, but I like to go exotic places, especially. And when you have that extra money, you can use it there. And then I like to create those memories with our kids because, of course, we take them with us. We have a family trip and we have a couples trip. So travel and assets, like we like to invest in different things. So we can put that money in those places as well. And
they end up making us money. So instead of spending on a car note, we would deploy those capital funds in an area that creates more income so that we can do other cool stuff. And it hit me one day many years ago when I had nice vehicles and everything. I remember I said, you know what? I got a car note. I got a very nice car, but I'm inside this place working for 8 to 10 hours a day, not getting to enjoy it. So people in the parking lot was enjoying the car more than I was. So, those are some of the reasons why we just changed our philosophy as it related to the way we buy cars and so forth like that. Which leads us to one other point that we're going to talk about probably about another week with everyone. With our company, Thousandfold Capital Group, we're actually bringing on a few private money investors over the next couple months. We're working on some amazing projects where we're actually getting our clients back anywhere between 20 to 25% return on investment. Let me repeat that again because I don't think they heard that. 20 to 25% return on investment. If you have your money sitting in a bank, at best you're getting 0.01% interest, if that. So we're in a position where we're helping our clients again get return on an investment of 20 to 25%. So that is like mad ROI and rate of return. So for those of you who are interested in that, shoot us an inbox. We can share with you some of the details we're doing with that. Phenomenal things we're putting together with accelerated returns on investment. So anything else you want to say on cars? Matter of fact, what was your first car?
My first car was a Hyundai Elantra. I didn't buy it though.
You didn't buy it? How did you get it?
No, my mom bought it. Was my mom's, and she gave it to my sister. My sister was done with it. She gave it to me, so it just got passed down.
You had a hand-me-down car.
Yes, it was green. It was little, but my sister had tinted out the windows and everything, so I thought it was nice. I was just happy to have a car.
I hear that. My very first car was a 1981 Volkswagen Jetta. It was beige, 4-door with an ugly beige interior, but man, that was like Hollywood to me.
What year was it?
1981. I know you weren't even born. I knew where you were going with that. Yeah, it was an 81. I can't remember how many miles I had. I think it was over 100,000 miles. I think I got the car for like $4,900, a little military hookup discount, which I found out later wasn't a discount.
Never is. No, look, I was in Virginia, and Virginia is a Commonwealth state, so they can charge you however much interest they want. And then people are just coming in the military for the first time. They were charging like 32% interest on cars. Is that crazy?
That's crazy. That's like really crazy.
Yes.
So hopefully that information gave you guys some good information. And just think a little differently this year when it comes to doing different things with your tax returns, perhaps. You know, it's totally up to you. We're not telling you what guys to do, but just some of the things that we're doing that's really accelerating and helping us in building our generational wealth, doing some cool things with the kids, just being able to maneuver a little differently to get different results. So anything you want to say in closing?
And if you're not in the market for a car, I mean, you still can get one of these cars for under $5,000 and resell it and make you some extra money that way.
There you go. Easy breezy. Well, guys, take care. We enjoyed talking to you for a few minutes here tonight. Hopefully make some impact, and we'll see you guys soon.